It looks like Kamal's going first, but his hand's not too great.
Yeah, last stream, last time I was at the finals commentating, we hit over 1,000 people watching. I want to see if we can do that again. So, do you guys have a man of the match card of the tournament? Like best tech or whatever? Oh, I don't know. What do you think the best tech of today has been so
I don't think
far?
I've seen anything too crazy. I've honestly seen Ice Dragon's Prison was definitely very popular in a lot of decks. We saw the Eldlich cards being in a lot of decks as well. There was nothing crazy that was just like the spice in the room that like some players knew about and some players didn't. The Drytron deck might have just been that, and a lot of players just were not prepared or didn't have the cards. We
Yeah.
see, oh, a Gamma being resolved on his own turn. That is crazy, being the virtual world player.
We also see that the Zoo Eldlich player chose to Ash Foolish Burial Goods instead of the Qinglong effect in Grave, which is very interesting since they have so many ways to get to the Qinglong. They said who won? Top four was won by Homero. He said make it to the finals just to brick the virtual world special. I think he's doing pretty good so far. Got to use Gamma on a hand trap on his own turn. That's going to make driver, free body.
Yeah, resolving game on your turn, like we were talking about earlier, is just one of the best feelings in a deck that can just abuse the monsters that you're bringing out, whether it is to make needle fiber or just the level 6 monster that you're getting out of driver is really big.
Yeah, very free.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, at this point, like, any virtual world just becomes so strong because it can make Shen Shen or it can go ahead and make a rank 6. There's a lot of things that Kamal can do starting from here.
Yeah, as long as his hand isn't like very bad, he can still set up like VFD for sure. And while VFD isn't crazy versus Zoo Eldlich, you still don't want them to attack or use a Lord effect. Shutting off monsters is pretty nice.
Yeah, monster effects are really nice, and Kamal's probably going to know to call light in this matchup, most likely.
Oh yeah, he definitely knows what he's playing against now.
Yeah, and Kamal is just a very seasoned veteran player that even if he doesn't know what he's playing against, calling light's definitely the correct choice blind.
Yeah. But we also saw him finish his top 8 match extremely quickly. So he definitely got to see what everyone else was playing in the room. And he's going to be discarding. It looks like he's going to discard Roshi off the Qinglong. Which means his hand is a lot of virtual world names.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to have a lot of virtual names. And he discarded Ash, so I think he probably knows the matchup and knows he's not going to really need Ash to stop him. His engine's going to definitely be enough to carry.
Yeah.
And which one did he add off of Qinglong again?
I actually didn't see what he added. He added
Yeah.
it pretty quickly.
Oh, and he had another Ash, so his hand was not very good to begin with. So he's probably going to go into a Shen Shen here, and then this is going to be able to unlock his hand. So this Gamma actually really needed to resolve for Kamal to have a chance this game.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's huge.
I think it was going to resolve either way on his turn because you either Ash the goods or you Ash the Qinglong in the graveyard.
Yeah. I think it was just a questionable Ash, but either way it was going to get negated.
Yeah, you can Ash early to just try and stop them because sometimes Virtual World just has one play, and that's just it.
He's going to Chi to lower the level, so that way he can synchro in the Cloud Castle, and then bring back Shen Shen probably. Yep. So we've seen twice now, both times that Kamel is on stream. He's just normal summoning Ash.
I mean, normal
Comboing
summoning
it.
Ash might just be the best combo, apparently. Kamal just
Yeah.
keeps summoning VFD after that.
Took it to the finals.
And look at that, like, that driver came in so clutch.
Yeah.
Like, without that driver, he wouldn't have been able to summon out VFD, so, like, we noticed how important it is to, like, be able to hand trap your opponent correctly. If he saved that Ash for when Kamal had a monster on board, or if he just didn't activate, like, the Ash in general, Kamal might have not had a play.
Yeah, for sure. Not like having the driver on board for the level 6 to go into Shen Shen was huge there. Without that, he would have had to do his turn completely different. But we see that he's just going to pass very quickly. So now it's going to go back to him. And he summoned the VFD up in the extra monster zone. That's good. We saw earlier round 7 of Swiss that come up.
Yeah, so bringing out the Shenshun's kind of big. It's probably going to get hit with an Ice Dragon's Prison if I'm being 100% honest. But unfortunately, it's not going to do much since there's no other Psychics on the field.
Yep.
Like, it's just going to be summoned onto Kamal's opponent, which is still, like, decent because it's a macro. Now he has
its
to out
effects are
it.
being negated right now.
Oh, that is true.
But it's still good to not let him get that body on board, because that's very good versus
Yeah, and you see
Eldlich.
Kamal's being very, like we've been talking about. I like to call it discipline or just playing correctly. He doesn't want to play into any back or like Torrential or Needle Sealing. That have started to get more popular. Could have definitely been punished by a card like Quaking Mirror Force. We saw Avery make popular, but I don't think the Zoo deck would be playing a card like that.
We could also see like Solemn Strike on the VFD effect be pretty big.
Yeah, that'll be super big. And because we know Kamal right now doesn't really have a follow-up. He wasn't able to leave one. I think he's using Gigi. Wow, that's... If it's Gigi or Lala, those are probably the two best ones to have.
Yeah. No Cosmic in response.
Yeah, Cosmicking the Chucha when they activate a hand effect is really big. That's one of the things that like lets you play past getting VFD'd.
He said that set 4 was the fastest turn I've ever seen. Yeah, that was a really fast turn.
See, he knows exactly what he's doing versus the VFD, which is really good. So it shows he knows the matchup at least.
He's going to use the Roshi to summon back the Shenshin, which is very good use of the Roshi there.
Yeah, people forget that Roshi can just go ahead and bring back the extra deck monsters. Like, bringing back the level 6 of it's an
Juju.
archetype. Yeah, just to make a level 6 synchro or, like, change the levels right there is really important. Yeah, so Kamal looks like he's going to capitalize a lot right now.
Yeah, he's going to use GG effect. He's not really scared of TT, I guess.
Yeah, he might know his opponent's deck list by this point. It wasn't a huge tournament, so they might just know what each other's playing. And also, like, now that he's resolving Gigi and he has the trap card and he has a Quinglong in his graveyard as a follow-up, he's just set for the next couple turns.
He's set for every turn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just a loop that if it doesn't get interrupted is just constant.
And they said, I wish you guys would show life points. Life points right now is 7,800 to 8,000.
Yeah, so they will matter now. Like, in grind matchups like this, there's going to be slow turns and there's going to be fast turns where you pump out like 200-300 points of damage or you pump out 2,000-3,000 points of damage. And I imagine they're both keeping track either on pen and paper or on a calculator next to them, but us not being there next to them don't exactly know what's going on right now.
So it looks like he's going to go for an XYZ summon.
If he goes into a Break Sword into a Zeus play, it would not be bad. It'd be decent. He could also just go for a Vermilion, try to bait out a back row, and then like go for a Juju, or just different things of those sorts. Those are very strong cards to just play into back row.
Yeah, he has a lot of different options here. So he's going to synchro for
Vermilion.
Shouldn't the monsters he used to synchro
So the
summon be
Roshi
banished?
brings out the Shen with its effects negated.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
So he's going to go Vermilion effect.
And this card's so good because if he does strike it, you just get a resource back.
Yeah. So he's about to roll the dice.
Yeah, he's reading it just to double check. If he didn't, he might have just striked it prematurely and been able to give his opponent Lulu back. Or Lao.
Or Ash.
Yeah, or Ash back, which Ash, I've done that myself. Yeah, and he's going to concede. There's times where you just like know your opponent doesn't have nib, so you just pop your own Vermilion, and then you get Ash back, or you get Lala back, and then you just Cloud Castle it back.
Yeah, like Vermilion to add back Roshi was a pretty cool play.
Yeah, you can add back Roshi, so you end with Roshi and Lulu in hand after GG with the spell engraver, so you just give yourself a lot of follow-up.
Yeah, you'd usually like Kieran send the Roshi somewhere in the combo, then Vermilion add it back.
Yeah, if you don't have a way to 100% get to all the names, it's a way to cycle through. Kamal's up.
So game 2, we're gonna for sure see Zoo Eldlich go first.
Yeah, so this is where I think a lot of the trap cards are really going to put in the most work, because I did see some floodgates in his deck while I was just walking by. I definitely saw Summon Limit in his deck, which is really good. If you don't have access to Chucha right away, the Summon Limit is going to put in work, but it also can hinder the Zoo deck and the Eldlich cards themselves because you can't summon that many times per turn.
Setting up like a Dryden plus Summon Limit would be very strong.
Dryden plus Summon Limit is almost always going to be enough, as long as the Dryden can stay on the field.
Yeah,
but
with the Bunny Blast on
I
board.
personally know Kamal's side deck, so he does have a lot of nice cards for this matchup specifically. Cards like Twin Twister, cards like Lightning Storm, Red Reboot. These are the types of cards that are really going to tip the matchup in his favor, like we've seen in the past matchups with the Zoo deck.
Yeah,
So
having a lot of cards for back row will really help him out. We know that the opponent's on like Ice Dragon's Prison, Strike, you say side deck
yeah,
and Summon Limit. All
yeah,
these cards will all be hurt by the Twin
exactly. And if he
Twisters and
doesn't
stuff.
have Judgment, like Twin Twister and Lightning Storm are just so good because in a deck like Virtual World, you don't care as much that their cards are floating like the Eldlich cards because you're gonna outgrind them anyway.
Yeah, GG and Qinglong is
Yeah,
it's
they're really good.
nice.
It's like it's a double follow up every turn, and the thing is Lulu is just another follow up as well. So it's just so many resources, and we see that Romero is already ready, has his side deck put into his deck, so he knows what he's doing. So he's like, I'm down game one, but I know what my decks can do, and I know what it's built to do, and I'm gonna go ahead, come back, and win game two. So we're hoping for a good match. They're shuffling up here, and then just getting ready for game two.
Let's hope this goes to a game 3.
Yeah, game three would be really hype. Like last game three was really good when we saw the Drytron player play against Homero, and he's
Yeah.
been playing great on stream. I must say he had a couple questionable plays at the beginning, but he's been doing a lot better now.
Yeah. He's definitely picked up on the technical play throughout the last match and a half.
Yeah, and he makes sure to keep up with it. So we see Thoroughblade just gonna turn into a Trident, bread and butter of Zoo, really. I doubt he plays into the Nibiru, but he can if he wants to because it's most likely just not gonna be. Oh, he can't make the Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he
think-
probably realized that and is like, oh, wrong card. And I also think summoning the Trident, yeah, you have to summon in an attack position because of the Thoroughblade.
So it's weird that he put 4 materials under it. I think he actually tried going into Zeus.
Yeah, he might have thought he was going second.
He said, "This is game 2. Yep, we saw Virtual World win game 1.
Yeah, I don't think VW folds fast in simplified game states. I think it does really well in simplified game states, actually.
Yeah.
And this talents is going to be huge. So Kamal could have used it two ways: to either draw cards to get rid of the back row, or to force the Dryden because he just could have gone effect to take. You're
you
forced
pop
to change
itself.
Dryden,
Mhm.
and then you're leaving him on no engine, and you put him on having Sanguine.
Yeah. Drawing cards here is very good.
Oh wow! And then we
Yeah.
see the lightning storm coming down.
Calls
it's Monster.
monsters. Oh. Oh, he's gonna like Harpy's Feather Duster him now, right?
Oh, if he has like a Harpies, that would be crazier, like Twin.
Or maybe he just can't play through Dryden.
Oh yeah, it looked like his hand was full of monsters, so he might have not been able to play through Trident, but a hand full of Virtual World monsters can play through back row very well. I think this Lulu resolving might end the game. Like if you have Strike, you have to do it now because he's gonna send the trap, get access to Quan Loon, unless
Mhm.
Quan Loon was stopped early in the
yeah.
turn, so he might just be searching for Qinglong. He's not sure.
Yeah, I think he sent the Qinglong and then added Chu-Chi.
Yeah, and that's just gonna be able to stop his top deck.
Yeah, that's so strong. So we're gonna need to see Eldlich cards set here.
Yeah. I think Evenly is really strong, but in a deck like Virtual World where people are siding Lancia versus you, you don't want to just give your opponent a free 2-for-1. If you go battle phase Evenly, your opponent Lancias you, it just really hurts because not only can you not activate Desires, Qinglong, Chuche, you Evenly just did nothing.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. Also, the deck just mid to late game, you never want to draw in Evenly because you're going to have the gates face up and it's just not going to have any value. That's why I prefer to have cards like Twin Twister, Cosmic personally versus these matchups.
Yeah, I prefer stuff like that over Evenly. I think Evenly would be good if you were playing like an Eldlich Mirror.
Yeah.
Just because like some point throughout the game that card's gonna be insane.
Yeah, and you can just like set it and it's like, oh, it's just another set card, so they're not going to
Mhm.
think twice. And then out of nowhere, you're like, oh, empty my field and the battle phase evenly. Even if you have 2 cards, your opponent could have 7, and then it's just still a blowout.
Exactly.
So Kamal's summoning out the GG, so he's ensuring he's going to have a follow-up after this, which is really important because his opponent currently does not. And I think here he could just go Coral Dragon into Croc or Coral Dragon into Vermilion to clear 2 back row. I think that's really big, and then the Coral Dragon's going to give him a card back. The Vermilion's going to be able to clear another back row. He leaves him on 1 back row with the Chuche live. I think it's really strong.
Everyone keeps saying Red Reboot in chat. Are you guys talking about cards that you like? Red Reboot's not really that good in Virtual World. They can't always end the game.
And they can't always clear all the back row. Like, Virtual World has 3 to 4 ways to clear back row, like, at most. Coral Dragon, you have Juju, and then you have your double Vermilion. If you could, like, get to 2 Cloud Castles and a Vermilion, like, you were just killing them that turn most likely.
Yeah.
So it really does depend. I personally don't side it because it's hard to clear it. Like if they have more than 2 back row, it feels bad to red reboot them.
I
But
definitely don't think Red Reboot is good in Virtual World. I think it's good in decks that can end the game that turn.
yeah,
and
or
still
decks
play
that
through
can
a hand
summon
trap.
Trisbania, like
Mhm.
just different things like that.
Like Drytron, that deck should definitely be signed Red Reboot.
Yeah, I agree because it's one of those decks that can just go Phoenix into Unicorn into Access Code where this deck cannot. See Kamal, he's just playing very defensive. Or, not defensive, he's holding a lot of resources. He wants to summon his Break Sword and then summon Zeus. And then this also, we know Homero has no cards in his hand, but this also plays around Nib.
Yeah. Well, he can like pop the Lulu here in the back row and go for Zeus.
Yeah, and this way he guarantees having the Lulu in the grave. Dang,
It's a
and he hits the.
cosmic.
That was a great hit too. So the fact that Kamal just had all monsters instead of the spells and traps was really big this game.
Yeah.
And if you had Cosmic, I don't think you should have asked the Kwanloon then.
Definitely not.
Yeah, because you're playing into tactics, you're playing into a lot of things, and this Zeus looks like it's sticking. There's no strike set because it would have been used a lot earlier.
Also, Ash would have just been much better
Then
on
he
like
just-
a Qinglong effect.
If that's like Sanguine Conquistador, it's kind of bad, I think.
It's one's Ice Dragon's Prison, I'm pretty sure.
I think you have to Ice Dragon Prison take out the Lulu. Oh,
Well,
well,
even
not
if you
even.
take it,
Yeah,
just
it
gets
just
sent.
gets sent. So, like, Ice Dragon's Prison doesn't do anything. So, yeah, it just resolves and he's sending Scarlet. I think you actually activate the Scarlet to put the Lord in your graveyard.
Yeah.
Because I don't think getting the Conquistador this turn is really good.
Yeah, because you'd just be like setting the Conquistador, make Link Spider to set Scarlet, and that's just getting the Lord anyhow.
Yeah, oh, it got Ash. Kamal had Ash. So, just Kamal had everything. He's leaving his opponent on top deck to a Chucha, and that's pretty much game right here. So, Kamal looks like he's going to take it 2-0. I don't really see a way that Romero can get out of this.
Yeah, adds back GG and end phase.
Yeah, he has Qinglong in the graveyard as well. He has Chuche. So, yeah, everyone's looking. He top deck Cursed Eldlin, which is really good. If he had access to Lord, that probably would have been the best top deck. But at this point, you can very comfortably Chuche that, I think. Like, you make him take the 800.
Is there a point to do that? Because if you do that, then he can
Oh, you don't even have
send-
to, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any interruptions this way. So
Yeah.
you just let this resolve.
Yeah, so he's just going to end on, like, Conquero, and then, like, you can just pop one of them with the Chucha and then pop the other one with Vermilion, and it's the game.
Yeah, this is for sure.
I mean, he's taking 800 plus the 2,000 from Breaksword, 28, and then 16 from Lulu. So he's taking, what is that? He's taking 44. Yeah, and then he goes ahead and concedes. Kamal takes the finals 2-0. Yeah, Virtual World definitely showing that it's the best deck, at least for now.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats
definitely.
to both of them. Both of them made it to the finals. They played well, obviously, to make it to the finals. They had to have played well.